Greetings and welcome to Top Topics. Thank you for joining today and hope you enjoy the video. And by the way, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Today, we will be covering the top 23 best destinations to travel in 2023. New year, new perspective. Use this calculation liberally while making travel arrangements in 2023. Many nations have removed the majority of their pandemic restrictions after nearly 3 years of travel inconveniences and hassles. There is a lot of unmet demand worldwide due to the high number of people traveling overseas. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, international tourism was projected to reach 65% of pre-pandemic levels by the end of 2022, with certain regions lately experiencing levels that were closer to 80% or 90% of their 2019 arrivals. Experts are cautiously hopeful about the future of the travel industry. With good reason, many travelers are launching headfirst into the new year. For inspiration, consider these 23 travel suggestions from CNN Travel. Number 1. Poland. We might make a list of recent debuts in Poland, such as Hotel Vert, a brand new autograph collection hotel in Warsaw that unveiled its gilded doors in August. However, the opportunity to stay in a palace-like setting is not the main incentive to travel to Poland in 2023. It's to express solidarity with a nation that has supported the people of Ukraine in return. Poland has taken in more Ukrainian refugees than any other country due to its 300-plus-mile border with a nation under siege. You have a difficult position if you add the declining tourist numbers, although they are rising again to the mix. So whether you want to visit the palace in Warsaw, go on a city break to places like Krakow, Gdansk, Wrocław, or Poznan, all of which are hundreds of miles from the Ukrainian border, or just want to get away from it all in the forests, lakes, and mountains of the countryside, now is your chance to do some good by going on a vacation. Number 2. Western Australia. A total solar eclipse will be seen over Australia's northwest corner on April 20, 2023. The town of Exmouth and the Greater Ningaloo Peninsula on which it is located have been planning for more than a year for an event that will probably last approximately 1 minute. There will be musical events, educational opportunities to learn about science and astronomy, and a 3-day dark sky festival, as well as outdoor viewing platforms where visitors may safely witness the solar marvel with safety goggles. Of course, Western Australia, however, has much more to offer than just a brief moment of awe. It extends across 1/3 of the entire Australian continent, from the vibrant, expanding state capital of Perth to the Great Victoria and Great Sandy Deserts to the wine region of Margaret River, the magnificent Kimberley Clifftops, and the quokka-covered Rottnest Island. Number 3. Liverpool, England. Liverpool, a port city in England, is well known for being the birthplace of the Beatles and is currently adding a new chapter to its musical legacy. It will serve as the host city for the spangling musical spectacle known as Eurovision 2023 in May, which attracts tens of thousands of flag-waving spectators from all over the continent. It's a chance for the city to recover from the humiliation of losing its UNESCO World Heritage designation in 2021. More than 30 international artists and collectives will occupy locations throughout the city from June through September as part of the city's celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Liverpool Biennial Contemporary Visual Arts Festival. In 2023, England will also observe the Year of the Coast, with events like culinary festivals and beach cleanups happening along the nation's coastlines. Crosby Beach is the permanent location of sculptor Antony Gormley's Another Place, where 100 cast-iron figures stand facing out to sea, and is only 30 minutes by train from Liverpool city centre. Number 4. Charleston, South Carolina. Like no other U.S. city, Charleston proudly displays its history, but it frequently ignores the contributions of its black citizens. It has been making efforts to rectify that. Enter the International African American Museum, which, after delaying its January launch date, pledges to announce its opening soon for 2023. The museum will be located along the Cooper River's waterfront, close to where many African immigrants originally arrived in North America. The lives of slaves and their descendants will be examined. The famed Spoleto Festival, which takes place in late May and early June, features opera, theater, dance, musical performances, and artist discussions. Foodies should put March 1st to 5th on their calendars so they may attend the Charleston Wine and Food Festival and indulge in local delicacies. Missing the festival? You'll still have a good meal. Magnolia's serves upscale Southern cuisine. Its 1990 opening sparked the city's gastronomic revival. If you want something casual, go to Bertha's Kitchen in North Charleston, where fried chicken, lima beans, and red rice with sausage are the norm. Even road food author Michael Stern noticed the restaurant. Number 5. Vilnius, Lithuania. Self-effacing Vilnius acknowledged in a recent advertising effort that no one actually understands where it is. If their fantastic film wasn't enough to convince you to plan a trip there right away, perhaps this will. On January 25, 2023, the Lithuanian capital will commemorate its 700th birthday. A year-long schedule of events is planned to commemorate the milestone, including concerts and exhibitions. But rather than strictly adhering to a program, use the anniversary as an incentive to visit. Along with its sibling V-cities, Vienna and Venice, the entire city center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Vilnius makes it on the list because to its Gothic, Renaissance and Baroque structures, all lying on a medieval street pattern, although it's best recognized for its Baroque architecture. Don't miss the Church of St. Casimir, which is capped by a huge crown, or the Church of St. John's, whose frothy bell tower you may climb for magnificent city views. Interested in social media? The only capital city in Europe that permits hot air balloons to soar over the cityscape is this one. Number 6. Fiji. Fiji is not difficult to sell because of its wide coral reefs, clear blue oceans, and numerous tranquil islands. However, why visit there in 2023? For starters, the nation didn't reopen after COVID until the end of 2021, thus the South Pacific Paradise's visitor numbers haven't yet entirely recovered. Take the chance to discover the nation's above-ground wonders as well, despite the country's abundance of undersea beauty. The town of Levuka, a historic capital and significant harbor, is the only UNESCO World Heritage Site in the nation. It is dotted with structures from the British colonial era among coconut and mango trees. Travelers can participate in a kava greeting ritual, so named for the traditional beverage at its core, or partake in a lovo, a meal prepared over hot embers in an underground pit covered with banana leaves, to learn more about the indigenous populations there. It is now quite simple to go to the islands thanks to Fiji Airways direct flights from Los Angeles and San Francisco. Beulah, as the Fijians would say. Number 7. Manaus, Brazil. Two ecologists in the area of Manaus, the state capital of Brazil's Amazonas state and the entrance to the river, have taken advantage of the pandemic pause to become even more environmentally friendly. A new $400,000 solar power plant with 268 double panels that strut about 40 feet into the air above the canopy at Juma Amazon Lodge, approximately 50 miles south of the city, is now fully operational, meaning no trees had to be cut. Additionally, they constructed a biogas system to improve the effectiveness of organic waste treatment, resulting in an 8-ton annual reduction in carbon emissions. Ana Vilhana's Jungle Lodge constructed an off-grid advanced base during the pandemic that is 30 miles from the main lodge and accessible only by water. It is located northwest of Manaus on the Rio Negro River. In one of the most remote hotel establishments in the Amazon region, visitors can go on lengthy jungle excursions through terrain home to jaguars, pumas, and enormous armadillos, and then spend the afternoon in a hammock or by the pool. The lodge intends to host small groups for overnight stays in a creekside tent starting in 2023. Don't miss Manaus itself. Dining on enormous Amazonian fish in front of the Opera House's pink exterior is a must-do. Number 8. Thessaloniki, Greece. With a UNESCO-endorsed local food scene that just celebrated the renovation and reopening of its century-old Modiano food market, there has never been a shortage of reasons to visit Greece's second city in recent years. Thessaloniki is undoubtedly a candidate for one of Europe's top city getaway locations when you consider its bustling waterfront, close proximity to lovely beaches, and inland highlands. What could improve it further? What about a brand new, dazzling metro system? If everything goes according to plan, the primary line of an infrastructural megaproject that eventually connects the city's core to its international airport could open in November 2023. passengers will be transported by driverless trains through tunnels whose excavation has added to Thessaloniki's already extensive collection of archaeological finds, many of which will be displayed in specially designed museum stations. Number 9. Rwanda. Sextancho Rwanda, a collection of traditionally built huts on an island in Lake Kivu, one of Africa's largest lakes, will officially open in January 2023. Lake Kivu is one of the continent's largest bodies of water. Daniele Kilgren, whose initiatives preserve regional tradition by mixing a hotel with living history, is working on his first project outside of Italy. Sextancho is a charity organization that gives money to nearby communities directly. Visitors can go canoeing, fishing, drinking local banana beer, and wildlife spotting in addition to seeing the hens, cows, pigs, and goats that wander freely throughout the site. You'll undoubtedly want to see gorillas. The Dianfasi Gorilla Fund launched the 4,500 square meter Ellen DeGeneres campus in 2022, right next to Volcanoes National Park. Its visitor center offers exhibitions, nature trails, and virtual reality encounters with gorillas. White rhinos that were moved from South Africa to Akagera National Park in 2021 to aid in conservation are already giving birth there. It's also simpler to get there. The only other non-African cities with direct flights to Kigali are Brussels, Dubai, Guangzhou, and Mumbai, which will soon be joined by a new route from London. Number 10. Gothenburg, Sweden. The second largest city in Sweden, which has been recognized as the world's most sustainable travel destination for the past 6 years, is now rising from Stockholm's shadow. Gothenburg, which was once a significant commercial and shipping hub, is today regarded as one of Europe's greenest cities, with 274 square meters, 2,950 square feet of green space per resident and 95% of its hotels earning eco-friendly certification. The Gothenburg 400th anniversary was formally celebrated in 2021. However, due to the global pandemic, there were no celebrations. However, they will ultimately occur in 2023, making this a fantastic time to travel. The city's major anniversary festival is being hosted in the Frihamnen port region from June 2nd to 5th, with concerts and art events among the attractions on offer. On June 4th, Sweden's King Carl XVI Gustaf, who celebrates 50 years in the throne this year, will be in town. The celebrations will last throughout the summer until the start of the 26-mile Göteborgsvarvet Marathon on September 3rd, which follows the city's well-known half-marathon on May 13th. Number 11. Ras Al Khaimah, United Arab Emirates. The magnificent skyline of Dubai typically comes to mind when tourists think of the United Arab Emirates. The northernmost emirate, Ras Al Khaimah, which is seeking to become the Middle East's most sustainable destination by 2025 as a result of a new balanced tourism strategy, has a lot to offer environment enthusiasts as well. It is frequently referred to as the Adventure Emirate, and with good reason. It is only 45 minutes from Dubai. Outdoor activities abound, including sandboarding, trekking, wakeboarding, skydiving, scuba diving, and even the longest zipline in the world. The area also offers beaches, deserts, and mountains. But the rush of adrenaline is not the only factor. The highest restaurant in the UAE is located in Ras Al Khaimah at 1484 by Poro, which is situated in the Jebel Jais Mountains of the emirate. Visitors interested in culture can visit the ancient Dia Fort, which dates to the Late Bronze Age, 1600 to 1300 BC. The place to stay in 2023. The deluxe hospitality company Anantara will launch a stunning new resort there with 174 bedrooms, suites, and over-water villas in addition to specialty dining options and a spa. Number 12. Laos. Landlocked Laos has long been considered a must-see destination for time-rich tourists making their way through the Southeast Asia circuit because of its shared borders with Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, China, and Myanmar. However, it will be easier than ever to travel across the country at a faster pace after a semi-high-speed train opens in 2021, cutting hours off of trips that used to take entire days to complete. There are many things to see in Laos, so you'll still need to make some difficult decisions. Vang Bang, a refuge for adventurers, welcomes visitors with towering karst peaks, while Luang Prabang, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is home to French colonial architecture, Buddhist rituals, and stunning natural scenery. Those seeking luxury might stay at the Rosewood Luang Prabang, which features chic hilltop tents. The Ziangkhom Plateau contains the enigmatic Plain of Jars, a megalithic archaeological site. Go to Bokeo Province and take part in an overnight hike with the Gibbon Adventure for a once-in-a-lifetime experience that changes lives. Visitors to this conservation initiative with a tourist component spend the night in the tallest treehouses in the world, which can only be reached by zipline, among wild black-crested gibbons. Number 13. Gruyers, Switzerland. Rolling hills, medieval structures, and the cheese that has been declared the greatest in the world. Greetings from Switzerland's Gruyers. Everywhere you turn in this tiny, hilltop town, there's a fresh picturesque scene to take in, from the 13th century castle to the medieval market square. Summertime offers plenty of hiking options, and wintertime provides for excursions to the adjacent Molson-sur-Gruyers ski resort. Both are reasonable day trips from Geneva. Visit the woodline Chalet de Gruyères to sample the fromage that bears Gruyères' name. Visit the La Maison du Gruyère plant to discover how cheesemakers perfect this creamy delight. The Maison Caillard Chocolate Factory offers more gastronomic treats. From the outside, it resembles something from a Wes Anderson film. Inside, it provides an insight into the processes involved in creating Swiss chocolate. The bizarre H.R. Geiger Museum, which honors the creations of the renowned Swiss artist who created the titular creature for the 1979 film Alien, is also located in Gruyères. The fanciful atmosphere of Gruyères can be offset with a drink at the museum's bar, which Geiger created in an eerie skeletal style. Number 14. Minneapolis, Minnesota. One of the top awards in the food industry has been bestowed onto a contemporary indigenous eatery in Minneapolis, but it's not the only one bringing attention to the local native populations. Indigenous foods including trout, bison, sweet potatoes, and others are used to create decolonized dishes at Awamni, a James Beard Award-winning restaurant that won Best New Restaurant. Chef Sean Sherman and Oglala Lakota, and Dana Thompson, a lineal descendant of the Wahpeton Sisseton and Diaconton Dakota tribes, collaborated to open the restaurant. In February, Indigenous Food Lab, one of the duo's community-owned projects, intends to construct a market in Minneapolis Midtown Global Market, a former Sears structure that now houses shops from more than 22 different cultures. Indigenous goods are a major focus in the outdoor Four Sisters Farmers Market, which is open every Thursday from June through October. The exhibit Our Home, Native Minnesota, at the Minnesota History Center in nearby Estee Paul explores the state's long history of Native Americans. Number 15. Bogota, Colombia. The Rosario Archipelago and Cartagena, a city on the UNESCO World Heritage List, are rightfully at the top of most travelers' lists for Colombia's Caribbean coast, but the nation's capital, Bogota, is also worthy of consideration. Although it is a chaotic, congested urban sprawl, it also serves as a high-altitude crucible for culture and gastronomy. There are tours that show how the city changed from a wild west of graffiti to an amazing collection of street art. The restaurants that make the most of Colombia's vast natural flora larder with menus that range from delectable peasant meals to astounding Michelin-level gourmet are equally as colorful. Additionally, there is coffee. On the outskirts, the traffic thins out rapidly except from on regular cycle-only days, enabling day visits to see historical and contemporary gems. Itineraries can take in the beautiful underground Zipaquirá Salt Cathedral or Lake Guatavita, where conquistadors once pillaged sunken gold offerings left by indigenous Muisca people. Number 16. Mustang Valley, Nepal. Mustang Valley in Nepal is renowned for its mountain treks along historic routes that formerly allowed for trade between the Himalayas and India and is located right next to Tibet. Due to the impending opening of the Shinta Mani Mustang, expect to hear a lot more in the upcoming months about this distant location. This all-inclusive resort, which is a member of the Bensley Collection, is positioned above the lower Mustang village of Jamzam and will provide travelers looking for luxury with 29 apartments modeled like conventional Tibetan dwellings. Visitors to Mustang have the option of trekking or touring historic towns and Buddhist monasteries. The artificial Mustang Caves, which are located above the Gandaki River and contain 2,000-year-old Buddhist sculptures and murals, are also not to be missed. Part of the adventure is traveling to the Mustang Valley. From the nation's capital, Kathmandu, travelers must take a 25-minute trip to Pokhara before boarding a different aircraft for the 20-minute flight to Jamzam. Some people might find this option more appealing than the other, a 12-hour journey from Kathmandu, just because of the vistas. Number 17. Tanzania. Tanzania is brimming with natural beauty, from its amazing wildlife to its stunning national parks and beaches. The Zanzibar Archipelago, Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's tallest mountain, Serengeti National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and other amazing views are just a few of the many highlights of this East African nation. The country's major airport, Dar es Salaam, will become a transportation and logistics hub this year with the opening of new routes by the flag carrier Air Tanzania, as well as the start of construction of the nation's first toll highway. In the meantime, the Dar es Salaam Oyster Bay Resort will be the first Delta Hotels by Marriott property in Africa when it opens later this year. Number 18. Cairo, Egypt. Could this be the year that travelers may finally visit the Grand Egyptian Museum? After numerous delays, the museum anticipates opening in 2023. GEM, which will cost about $1 billion and house the complete King Tut collection, will be the biggest museum devoted to a single culture. View the CNN Insider tour video here. If you arrive in Cairo before it opens, you can still satisfy your desire for antiquity at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square. There is still more to see. Even though the pyramids of Giza are the city's main attraction. Beginning with Islamic Cairo. One of the world's largest collections of historical Islamic architecture can be found here. Visit the Al-Azhar Mosque, which was built in 970, while you're there. The Christian tradition is strong throughout the city. An abundance of Christian sites that date back to before the arrival of Islam may be found in Coptic Cairo, a section of Old Cairo. Al-Azhar Park, which has a wonderful expanse of greenery and a design influenced by traditional Islamic gardens, is a good place to get away from Cairo's noise. Additionally, the rich Zamalek area, which is located on an island in the Nile River, is home to upscale hotels, restaurants, and antique shops. Number 19. Neoshima, Japan. The honor of being the best-selling female artist currently working on the planet belongs to Yayoi Kusama. She has particularly gained fame for her sculptures of enormous pumpkins with polka dots. One of these was relocated to Neoshima, one of Japan's art islands, in 2022 after being swept into the water the year before. However, Neoshima is much more than just its well-known yellow board or Kusama's artwork. Southeast Japan's Seto Inland Sea, which lies between the major islands of Honshu, Kyushu, and Shikoku, contains 5 compact, easily accessible art islands. On Neoshima, there is the greatest concentration of attractions, not to mention the Lone Hotel. The 5 support modern and contemporary art collectively, with a focus on Japanese artists. Don't expect calligraphy or other traditional forms if you come here. Instead, be astounded by Tadao Ando's enormous stone monoliths, a tiny gallery where visitors can hear nothing but the sounds of people's hearts beating. A fictitious thunderstorm created inside a wooden house, and a display where jumping in and taking a bath is meant to be an integral part of the artistic experience. Number 20. Belize. Several North American airports provide direct flights to Belize City, making this Central American nation a hassle-free stop for many tourists during the peak travel months of November to April. The majority of travelers travel straight to Belize's Caribbean shore. The second biggest coral reef system in the world, the Belize Barrier Reef, is situated near to Ambergris Cay, the nation's largest island. The island's Margaritaville Beach Resort and Alaya Belize, a eco-luxury resort, are scheduled to open in early 2023. Further south, scuba divers and aerial photographers are drawn to the Great Blue Hole, a sizable underwater sinkhole. But Belize has much more to offer than just its alluring islands. A country that has had a developing sustainable tourism master plan since 2012 invites exploration with its lush jungles, cave networks, twisting rivers, and rich Mayan archaeological sites. Altan Ha's ruins are only about an hour's drive north of Belize City. One of the biggest and most interesting Mayan ruins in Belize is Lamanai, which is located further west. Number 21. Oaxaca, Mexico. In her series Searching for Mexico, which will premiere on CNN in 2023, Eva Longoria explores various unique flavors from Mexico, which is undoubtedly as rich in gastronomic tradition as it is in Mesoamerican archaeological riches. Longoria travels to the Mexican state of Oaxaca, which is particularly rich in culinary traditions. And the majority of the world's mezcal is made in Oaxaca. Oaxacan pizzas, also referred to as tlayudas, are a common street dish. Typically, lard, beans, traditional Oaxacan cheese, pork, and additional toppings like avocado and tomato are stacked between large corn tortillas. The state is particularly well known for its 7 mole sauces, the recipes for which can include dozens of ingredients ranging from dried fruit and chocolate to chilies and sesame seeds. One of the many marketplaces in the state selling goods including dried chiles, fresh produce, handicrafts, and crispy grasshoppers is Mercado Benito Juarez in the city of Oaxaca. The town of Santiago Matatlan is the location for tours and tastings of mezcal distilleries, which is the state's increasingly well-liked alcoholic beverage. Number 22. Ottawa, Canada. The Canadian capital is sometimes forgotten because it lacks Toronto's international oomph or Montreal's French flair. That would be erroneous. Ottawa, which is graceful and subtle, has its own appeals. 2 upcoming jazz festivals in Ottawa are worth noting for music fans. Winter edition is February 2nd to 3rd. There is a summer edition June 23rd to 30th if you can't take the cold. If you enjoy hockey, go to the Canadian Tire Centre in the western suburbs to witness the Ottawa Senators perform in the NHL. If that ticket is too expensive, have a look at the Ottawa 67s, a junior men's hockey team playing at the TD Place Arena in the city centre. Depending on the ice thickness, the Rideau Canal transforms into the biggest skating rink in the world from sometime in January to late February or early March. It is open 24 hours a day for free. It's a nice place to see people in boats when it's warmer. Parliament Hill, where the Canadian federal government is located together with the visually stunning Parliament buildings on a bluff overlooking the Ottawa River, is a must-see. Number 23. Uganda. Travel options in Uganda are changing significantly right now as the East African nation looks to attract both domestic and foreign tourists by offering more than just safaris and wildlife viewing. It has shifted to selling its other qualities in an effort to revive post-COVID tourism throughout the nation, not just the high-end operations providing wealthy tourists with views of the big 5 animals or mountain gorillas. Why not, then? Uganda is a stunning wilderness playground with opportunities for adventure including treks through the Bwindi impenetrable forest or up to the craters of the Virunga volcano chain or whitewater rafting along the Victoria Nile. It stretches from the broad shores of Lake Victoria to the snowy Rwenzori Mountains. Additionally, there is a focus on introducing tourists to Ugandan villages and providing sampling of the local cuisine, music, and culture. The Uganda Cycling Trail, a 1,600-kilometer, primarily unpaved, 22-stage route that opened last year, is geared for cyclists of all skill levels, from dedicated solo bikepackers to fully guided leisurely riders. Thank you for watching Top Topics and have a great day. Also, if you enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.